Welcome to Real Talk with Garrett and Laura. Today we're going to talk some more about listing your home.
We will cover highlighting favorite things for buyers, including those big ticket items, as well as short-term loans that we could do to help prep your home for sale and what that means for your return on investment.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so one of the things that I love to include when listing is one of those highlight sheets. If you don't know what I'm talking about, often they're sitting on the kitchen counter in a house when you go look at it. So if you're thinking about listing your house, start thinking about some of your favorite things about your home, as well as your neighborhood. So potential buyers will get a feel of, what life could look like, in your home. And that means things ranging from, a laundry chute in your house from the 1950s, or fruit trees in your backyard that are really fun to make jam with, and even including nearby coffee shops or a neighborhood bar, just so that they can start to feel what it would be like to live in your neighborhood.
Yeah, because these are all things that aren't listed in the description of the marketing on Redfin or Zillow for it, but they're all things that the homeowner knows that the buyer needs to know about. So creating that in an actual sheet for these highlights and leaving it in the house for potential buyers is super beneficial, because it enables them to stop, slow down, and imagine themselves in the house and imagine themselves in the neighborhood and what their life would look like being there.
Totally. And I also think it's just a great personal touch. It makes you as a seller seem more real to them. And another thing you can include on that sheet is actually the bigger ticket items that aren't visible.
Yeah, and while you're pointing out things to buyers, you want to highlight those home upgrades that have been done.
Mm-hmm. And those don't even have to have been done by you, but it reminds potential buyers that they won't have to spend money on those things.
Mm-hmm. Things like updated plumbing, because you know that your house is old, but no longer use galvanized plumbing.
Or updated electrical and an updated panel, simply because you know that your outlets are grounded and that your panel's not old. So even if you didn't do that when you bought your house, and your house is old, you know that someone took care of it at some point, and then they feel like they're saving money on it.
That's right. That's right. And the last big ticket item is always the roof. People will say, how much useful life does the roof have left in it? Or how old is the roof? And so those are just questions that are always brought up. So it's good to have that on a little 3x5 sheet so that people can see it ahead of time and kind of answer those unanswerable questions.
Yeah. And the thing about this is that it just makes buyers feel like they're saving money, and all you're doing is providing information for them. So if they see that the roof has 10 years left on it, they think, wow, I'm saving $30,000, because they're probably seeing some houses where not everything's updated, or maybe the panel's not updated, or the plumbing's still galvanized and it's still a great house, but you just want them to feel like, oh, I'm saving some money on these big things just by picking this house without any effort by you.
That's right. That's right. And these highlight sheets and noting the big ticket items are all things that will help when your place is on the market. But we also offer some short-term loans for remodeling projects prior to listing your house or condo that can really help you in kind of optimizing your value and getting the best return on investment for you.
Yeah, and that can range from knocking out a wall to open up a room, maybe new cabinets, countertops, flooring, staging, of course, and with all with the end goal of helping optimize the value of your home. So we've talked about this a little bit before in our previous episode, but it just means letting us help you find that sweet spot so that you get the max interest in your home while the shortest amount of time on the market.
That's right. And, it's not necessarily, we're not going to come in and say, hey, you need to do all these things, take the house, have the house be vacant for 6 months while there's a project going on and make it the most expensive house in the neighborhood. We're going to give you that range that says, hey, if you do these couple different things, then you'll optimize your value and get the most out of it. Where if you were just to list the house for sale as is, you could be leaving money on the table. And we're happy to help to say, hey, for a couple months, here's what got you through the project. You got, 4x or 5x the amount of, money that you put in, you got that out on the back end. And so it helps your bottom line, and is just a really great way that we can be an asset to you and help them prep your house for sale.
Yeah, and just to be clear, so the proposal that we put together for each seller when they're looking to list their house. It'll be a streamlined list in a range of things that can be done, whether it's just let's just paint the cabinets white, or or something much bigger, like let's refinish the floor once you've moved out. There's a range. So when you sit down and look at that form, you can just see what sort of projects can be done, what sort of money it would take, and your different remodeling options, so that you get the best price, the best return on investment.
And Laura, this kind of reminds me of the one that we did in Newcastle, where it was a combination of us and the homeowners working stuff together, but we had that whole punch list of homeowners doing this, realtors are doing that. And we kind of went through it and met with them a couple months before even listing to plan out what we were going to do to get their home sold, and it worked out great for them. So these are all things that can be tweaked or catered to each home seller based on what's best for their situation to make a confident decision using us to list their place for sale.
Yeah. So thanks for watching. And we hope you got some new ideas. And if you're, especially if you are thinking about selling your home, and if you are thinking about selling your home, you should probably ask us to list it, because then you could have us just in your back pocket, ready to help with ideas like this.
That's right. And we'll be able to game plan, months in advance and help make that right decision for you. So keep sending us your questions and topics on these videos and what you want to hear about. And we'll catch you next time on Real Talk with Garrett and Laura.
Thanks, everybody.